They were doing this
No.
shit
Pause.
before the
Because
Infinite Labyrinth.
you also want to know what. You also want to know another thing. They didn't even know Kizuna ass was stuck in an infinite labyrinth. That's how I know she don't know all of this because she was stuck in the infinite labyrinth.
1 second. I'll retract everything I just said. You're right. You're most likely correct because I forgot about that.
They didn't
They
even
didn't
know
know
she was
she
stuck
was
there.
there.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Gurren Otaku Council podcast. As always, I'm your host, Ace.
And I'm your host, McMillian.
And we are back for another week of anime. But as always, if you'd like to become a council member and join me and McMillian as we discuss all things anime and sometimes manga, then make sure you hit that like and subscribe button as well as follow us on our social media so you can stay up to date on all things about the council. And with that being said, the council is now in session. Let the meeting begin. Even after a week off, everybody, he is still remembering it and he is still coming in here and messing up my intros. But
I'm not messing it up. I'm telling you. It's for the sake of time.
Hello, everybody. We're back for another week. How you doing today, McMillian?
I am doing good. The summer heat came early
That it did.
during this last week and tried to take your boy out, but he's here.
That
back
it
in Los
did.
Angeles, where it's still fucking hot, but I'm alive.
Glad to hear that. Yeah, I think we had probably our hottest day of the summer this past on Friday, and it was almost 100 degrees outside. It was ridiculous.
Oh, it was 100 degrees where I was at.
Oh, okay. Well, no, we peaked at 97, so y'all had us beat.
Bless.
Oh man, but anyway, so we're gonna, as always, everybody, we're gonna start us off with some council announcements. And first council announcement, this is actually a big one. We are splitting up the anime news announcements from the council announcements, and we're making them into their own neat little video. The first video should have actually, if everything went correctly, go live before this video goes live. So it should be out now. If everything went correctly. If not, then it'll probably come out at the same time as this episode comes out. But either way, we split up the anime announcements from the council announcements. So we were trying to keep the council announcements strictly just for information related to the council and maybe any other crazy shit that might pop up. Who knows? But anyways, we're just trying to keep it strictly contained with information about the council. Also, as far as council announcements, as you all know, we missed our last upload last week. Our friend McMillian here was gone out of town, but he is now back. So for today's episode, it is another double up episode. We'll be going through episode 10 of 11 of our 3 animes that we have here for today. So just want to keep that in mind. And also, last but not least, if you haven't seen it yet, our latest special, the Vampire in the Garden. There it is. The Vampire in the Garden series review is out now on all platforms. So if you had not yet had a chance to go listen to that, please do so. Anything from you, McMillian?
No, I think you covered about everything as far as council announcements goes. Yeah, and
all right.
Yeah, that's it. Okay,
all right. Well, glad to have you back, McMillian. And we're going to go ahead and get it started with everybody's favorite anime. Anju gets reincarnated as an assassin who's also a wife, or formerly known as Spy Family. Of course, we're going to be going through episodes 10 and 11 of Spy Family. So if you just want to go ahead and give us the titles of those two episodes, McMillian?
Episode 10 is titled The Great Dodgeball Plan, and episode 11 is titled Stella.
All right. So for episode 10, we're just going to go through the major plot points of episode 10. And I want to start off with how they made episode 10 into a generic ass shonen anime. And that shit was hilarious.
It was very funny. I cannot lie to you. They had a whole training arc montage, dialogue. It was you said shonen. I was thinking like sports, but yeah, it was a mixture of both. Really,
it was really a mixture of both.
And they did a great job. I was very much. It was super enjoyable. Anya Anytime we get to spend a school day with Anya, I know it's about to be some wild shit, and it indeed was some wild.
It
Like,
was some
well, not
wild
too
shit.
wild, but it was. Yeah,
I mean, we even got an antagonist for this episode, which was the the big
the
buffs in
the
first grade.
biggest, the biggest 6-year-old you have ever seen. What are they feeding that
I
man?
don't know what they feed that man.
What are they feeding him? That boy
but
looked like Mini Guile from Street Fighter. I know you've seen him.
but he played the antagonist for this episode. Like I said, we got the training arc. We even got a Dragon Ball reference in this
We
episode.
did.
And then I think we also got another reference that I don't think a lot of people highlighted, and I'm going to talk about that now. The scene where Damien protects Anya and catches the dodgeball or attempted to. Tell me that was not a reference from Hunter x Hunter in the
Oh,
dodgeball episode.
okay, so I thought you were going to say something else, but it probably was. The other thing I was going to say was they pulled out a Boondocks reference. If anyone's seen the kickball episode, that was basically the same exact thing. The only thing is that his arm didn't break. If anybody's seen the kickball episode of Boondocks, which is I highly recommend going to do so if you haven't, because that reminded me of that before it reminded me of Hunter x Hunter. But the moment you said Hunter x Hunter, I was like, that did happen in Hunter x Hunter as well.
It
So
did. It did.
it
Almost
did.
basically the same
They
exact way
also
too as well. Almost
they
basically.
also in my opinion, they also I feel like referenced Naruto in the scene where Damien and his guys are like, all right, shadow clone maneuver, and they were doing the the fucking body roll.
Yeah.
He swung his body. That felt like a Naruto reference. So I was like, this is
I didn't
just
think about that when that probably was a Naruto. No, they'd be doing a lot of Naruto references in my opinion. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was one.
mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised at all. Yeah, I didn't think about that. And then, but like I said, and then you just had the classic tropes where basically, Damien gave up his life for quote unquote gave up
Anya.
his life for Anya, and then Anya got the quick little power up. She hit that speech. I'm not gonna let your death go in vain. And then she pulls out the finishing
She,
move to take out the villain.
I
But
don't know if
unfortunately, we got reminded real quick that this is still Spy
the family.
Family.
Also, what I thought was hilarious was they were focusing on this Terminator sized 6-year-old for the whole episode and threw no balls at anybody else. Like the other classmates are just sitting there like, hey, we got the guy, we got the dude, and they were paying attention to none of that. It was like they weren't even trying
They
to
didn't
take
have
out the other
to.
people.
They gave my man a setup. They gave my man a setup and everything.
He was calculating the pressure and speed of his dodgeballs like he was a computer. I was like, who is this child? Why is he in school? And what is going on? And in true fashion, something else I loved about it, we got another Anya and your training
I was just about to say we
moment.
even got the generic flashback moments as well.
We did get those, but it was tied to training. And one thing I loved about it, the way they started the discussion of Anya's training was Yor was like, "Oh, I can't let them know that I've killed people and smacked them around with balls before." Or something. I was like, this lady's got to calm it down, just take it down a notch. But she was out here giving Anya the Rocky training. They were running upstairs, uh, throwing shit in the woods. It was a good time.
It was a wonderful time. I not Anju. I keep calling this lady Anju. I don't forgot her real name.
Yor.
Yor is not from this world. Because did you see the way she threw that dodgeball?
Oh yeah, and it broke all the trees, and also when she showed like a special, she was like, "You gotta develop your special move." Another great shonen reference. She threw that shit across a lake and it like divided it and everything. Like it looked like it was a legitimately like an energy wave. I was like, yeah. They just pulling out all the references this episode.
They pulled out all the stops for this episode. Episode 10 popped off. They they went crazy with episode 10. And they just went crazy.
It was really good, and to think that it got even like heightened because it was like, uh, they thought every kid thought it was like, oh, if we went for MVP for our like class, we get a Stella, and and unfortunately for them, that was not the case. Even because the teacher was like, why would we give a Stella for a game? What is wrong with y'all?
What is wrong with you kids? I mean, well, to be fair, PE is a class you have to take. You do get a grade for it. So who's to say
You
why we
do.
can't get a stellar for PE?
You do, but most people also say that the only way you can fail PE is by not showing up, which is also true.
I
So again,
agree.
I
I
I don't know
agree.
how.
Well, I
I,
guess I guess some schools will beg to differ because some schools actually do like exercises and stuff that they're tested on and shit do PE during PE. I didn't go to a school like that, but I know that some other people do have
I
schools like that.
I know that to get an A, you had to be very participative, but other than that, there was like, I mean, if you didn't, if you weren't the most participative person, they weren't gonna like fail you. Like legitimate, I think that you, yeah, if you, the only way you fail a class like that is if you don't show up. If you do show up and even in just attempt, the lowest I feel like you can get is a C or a B in most cases, unless you just got like some drill sergeant as your gym teacher is like fitness is everything.
Oh man! And then I do have one question before we go to episode 11. So episode, Damien saved Anya from the dodgeball. I know they was just trying to make the shonen references and whatnot, but do you think that he's letting his quote unquote love starting to bloom a little bit for Anya now?
Probably, but I don't think it's voluntary because he has the same reaction every time anything like that happens. Is like, "You get away from me!" No. So I do think probably as the show progresses, that the little side plot of I have a crush on Anya is just going to be more and more like present. I just think it's funny because each time it happened, it manifests in some way. It's
Yeah.
always different. So this was the over dramatic version. So I can't wait to see. I guess what the next one will be.
All right. Well, that's all I have for episode 10. But did you have anything else?
Oh, other than we found out that being very disrespectful during sports gets you a tornadoes bolt or tornitis bolt. I
Tornadoes
think
bolt. Yes, because the
tornadoes. Yeah,
big the kid got one. The big buff
the
kid,
the child that eats steroids.
the child man, the man child, whatever you
The
want to
man child.
call him.
Put him
Oh man.
in a higher grade. The desk cannot fit him.
You
There's no
cannot
fucking
put
way.
this man in the higher grade just because he's bigger than all the other children. That is
Yes,
not
you
how school
can.
works.
Are
That
they
is
not
not how
scared of
school
him?
works. That is not how school works, sir. He still has to learn everything else like the other children, no matter how big he is. God damn
Hey, I guess.
it. Oh man. But now, so we're heading on to episode 11 of Spy Family, and we're going to touch upon the major plot points for this. I'm going to let you kick it off for this one, McMillian.
This was in my opinion, a very wholesome episode. It was entertaining, and not gonna lie, but like, we get the way it starts. Even is like Lloyd trying to figure out how best to help Anya get like a Stella, and he's like, "Oh, other than academics, there's other things that you can get Stellas for, such as like talents and stuff like that." So we run the gauntlet of Anya playing instruments and drawing, and this girl can't do anything.
Not a damn
And
thing.
there was even a sad moment where I was like, I laughed, but I also felt bad because she was like, uh, Lori was trying to be like a supportive dad and was like, "Oh, this is a dog, right?" Or I can't remember what it was, but he was like, "It's a dog or like a deer or something like that, right?" And she was like, "No, it's a cow, like the one we saw at the school, but it had like terrible proportions and random
Leave
colors
her
in it."
alone.
And he just got real quiet, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I wasn't laughing at her; it was more the situation because Lloyd was just like,
Yeah. No.
"Next."
Anywho, but yeah, another good. We got to see Lloyd being a good father this episode as well because like you say, he was going through trying to help I am trying to get a Stella without academics per se. And one thing he went to was community service. He was like, this can help us get a Stella. I heard people getting Stellas from community service. He also mentioned that, it would just be good for Anya to learn about community service just in general. So not only are
Mm-hmm.
we getting it, we're doing this for a Stella, but we're also doing this for your personal growth as well. I thought that was a nice touch that he actually mentioned that as well.
Yeah, no, it was that was a very nice moment, like I said. But the thing about the whole thing is that Anya not only is bad, I guess, at just formative stuff, she's not great at community service. She caused more harm than good. She kept tripping over stuff to the point where they were like, you know what, just go put up books in the library. And then she ended up reading the whole manga section and fucking it up. And they just it got so bad to the point where they were like, yeah, you got to leave. And Anya was just looked like she felt so defeated, but also at the same time she was like, I just don't like work, I guess at this point. But we go after that. Basically, though, we there's a situation where a young boy ends up falling into a pool, and due to Anya's gifts, she attempts to save him.
Correct.
Which I felt like was a great character moment for her because I won't say that Anya has been shown to be a selfish character, but I felt like that was a really great moment to really bring home of like her selflessness. Because I don't think she was in that regard. I don't think she was really trying to get Estella in that moment. It was just more of like, this kid is. I need to go help.
Danger.
This, yeah,
I'm in danger.
I'm help.
But no, I'm glad you brought that up because I was just about to bring that up more to the fact that so is Anya's powers basically getting stronger now because she sensed this man drowning from she wasn't even at the pool. She was just like in the hallway.
Was it the same floor? I can't remember.
I mean, I'm assuming it was the same floor. They didn't necessarily specify, but they had I assume it is the same floor because they had a sign pointing to the pool. But regardless, she wasn't in the same room as him. Yes, they was on the same floor, but she was able to still pick up his thoughts.
Well, what's interesting about that is interesting that you brought it like from the floor standpoint. For me, it was more of the fact that she sensed his thoughts without even like reaching out.
That's what I'm saying.
Because the last time she was able to, the last time she like cast a wide net was during when the purse got stolen, and she was unable to sift through all those thoughts. So it could be possible that her power is getting stronger. We know she uses them in school to help her navigate school life and Damien and stuff like that, also as well as like potentially cheat because that came out to this episode. But and this one she didn't even reach out to this kid who's like was screaming in his head. She kind of just picked up on it.
Yeah,
so it's very it's very possible that her telekinesis, her telekinetic powers are growing because she's able to. She's using them more, and she's starting to pick up on stuff that
correct.
Probably normally
this would also be a prelude to where we might start seeing Anya use her powers to save people, or I guess quote unquote help people rather, and not necessarily save.
Possibly. I mean, she has a dad that's a spy who's trying to stop a war, and a mom who's an assassin who's also. I'm assuming her kills have to relate to the war that's potentially might happen.
Ain't no telling what her kills are related to. There's no telling.
Not yet.
Wars out here killing for. There is no telling. We just know she's quote unquote she's making the streets a better place. How she likes to say it.
Allegedly.
She is making the streets a better place. She is their Batman. Okay, that's what she is. It could be for the war. It could never be. Who knows? She's their Batman. She's just here to save the day.
They're just
by killing people like Batman, unfortunately.
Yeah, but well, basically, she was able to save the boy, got her Stella, and for a while, Anya was big shit. Basically, that was like the remaining of the episode was her being like her living on cloud nine because everybody was just reacting to the fact that she got Stella, she did really well, she helped the person. So Anya was feeling herself for a bit, and then Becky ends up asking her, "Hey, how are your parents rewarding you for getting the Stella?" And she was like, "Reward? What's that?"
It squeezed me. Yeah, but now her reward, what she wanted to be, was a dog, and so now we might be adding a dog to this lovely little family here.
Well, and that's what I was about to say because it wasn't after credit, but basically the way the episode ended was them going to a kennel, and we see like all these dogs. I guess they got abandoned because originally they were supposed to be like war dogs or something like that. I think is what they mentioned.
Well, I think they were just I don't know if they mentioned it was war dogs. I know they said they was going to use them for war because they was going to implant them with bombs.
So that's why. Okay, there we go. That's the thing. And we see this one dog who has a vision of the Forgers,
which is weird as shit.
Which I was like, so we getting dogs with powers now? What?
Getting Crypto the super dog.
because I've seen and technically knew about the dog because unfortunately going to a bookstore you see pictures of
Mm-hmm.
the animal. So
The brothers, yeah.
I've seen the dog. I just didn't know it had powers. I was like, oh, uh, the author just said let's just add some more crazy shit onto this.
Basically, that's the same thing I thought as well. And it's going to be interesting to see if the dog does actually have powers. What type of powers will it be? Will it also be like technically telekinesis powers, like
Well, if
Anya's?
I
Because they
mean,
could have technically been in the same lab, getting worked on and stuff.
it possibly. I mean, like it seems to be something of the mind or something like that. But I'd have to assume it's like clairvoyance, like the ability to
Something
see
like
the
that,
future,
yeah.
because he saw like a. What I'm
Yeah, he saw
assuming,
them.
yeah, what I'm assuming is a future of him with the Forgers or
Yeah,
something
in
like
their
that.
house. Yeah, that's what it was. It was a vision with him looking at the forges while they was at home. At least that's what it looked like to me. And
Yeah, so
it could be some clairvoyance type shit.
who
Okay, look at
knows? But
you.
the yeah, I mean, who truly knows other than manga readers? So please don't confirm my thing. But I don't. I'm looking forward to this new member of the family. Is all I gotta say because I'm between a telekinetic child and a dog that could potentially see the future. The spectrum of possibilities are wild as hell. So it looks like Spy Family is turning the dial up to 11. It seems like.
I agree. I agree. Well, we're just gonna go ahead and jump straight on into some dislikes for these episodes. And me personally, I don't have a dislike for any of these episodes, really. Did you have anything?
Spy Family rarely ever misses. I don't think they've. The last time I think I had it just like was the Yuri thing, and that's
Okay.
just because I'm not a fan of that trope. It can be funny sometimes. A lot of times though, if you think about it for even more than a second, it's like creepy for to me. So, but
I feel
no,
you.
nothing this time, nothing
All right,
this
well,
go
that
around.
sounds good to me. So let's hop into some favorite scenes from these episodes. And me, I'm just going to start off with the training montage because the training montage is a classical gimmick from your typical shonen anime. So it just made me laugh when we got that training montage. And then, of course, last but not least, the finisher move, Star Catch Arrow.
Well, you
When
took
I
my scenes.
tell sir, when I tell you I was dying laughing, sitting on my couch watching this episode.
What I really enjoyed about Starcatch Arrow was just the dedication to animating it like that for it to fail. I I was like I because I had a feeling it was going to fail already, but seeing the whole magical girl startup like gold, like the ball going gold, her doing the whole movement, and it just being like the one of the most epic things ever, and then it just boop, and then he picks it up and just throws it at her, and I was like, well, there it go.
No,
I
they fooled the hell out of me because I thought they was gonna let it. I thought they was gonna let it ride because they basically, last time we had a training montage, she was Yo was teaching how to throw a punch, and she was able to throw a pretty mean punch last time. So I thought maybe yours training came through
she got
again.
she got too caught up in the moment. Is the thing. I think that ball probably would have been a good throw if she didn't just throw it on the ground and like it bounced it off the ground. She just didn't calculate. She didn't aim. She was just like strength, which in a way makes sense because technically when you look at the training stuff that Yor was doing with her, a lot of it was strength and not
It
necessarily
was.
aim. So, I mean, I get it was set up before our eyes. It was just very the way they executed it was perfect.
It was hilarious. Definitely, definitely one of the top 10 moments in Spy Family so far. It was
It's definitely
hilarious.
yeah. I agree. Since you started off with 10, I'll just take a 11. So my favorite moments from 11 was seeing, like I said before, I trying out those different hobbies. It fail after fail. It's just it was just a nonstop laughter to me. And then um, you have Anya saving the child because she fully was dedicated to jumping in that pool without the knowledge of swimming or anything. So I just thought that was a great character moment that we got to see from her. Also, it was just really also nice to see Lloyd come in for a save too. Like they really dramatized that moment. I mean, technically the moment was already very dramatic. A child could have lost his life, but I don't know. It felt to me like when they did that, they really tightened and focused. I guess maybe the animation to make it really look nice.
Yes, they did. That scene did look good. We were scared for a moment there Didn't know if Anya was gonna make it or not. We knew Anya, of course, wasn't gonna die, but we didn't know if she was necessarily gonna be able to get to the boy in time. Because I would have not been surprised if that young man would have died. It would have been a little dark, but
Really?
um,
You would not have been surprised if this
I would
show
have not
did
been
that?
surprised.
I would have been
Just for the fact that we
totally
have
taken off
Yor in this
guard.
anime, I would have not been surprised.
Okay. That's a fair point.
I
I'm
would
gonna
not be
give you that.
surprised.
I'm gonna give you that.
Though we haven't
We do have an
seen
assassin.
much gore like that since the very first, what was that, episode 1 or 2, one of those 2 episodes.
We technically, but still, though, my only thing with that, we only saw the aftermath of it. We didn't actually see anybody.
But we still saw all the
fully.
blood and the bodies on the floor and stuff, though.
That's true. That's true. It wouldn't be. I guess with that in mind, maybe it's not past them to have a kid drown. I just don't. That would have taken me way. That would have been so left field for me. Like I probably would be like, "What the fuck? Oh, what?
Whoa, 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 whoa!"
Hold on. I would have paused Crunchyroll and be like, "What show am I watching again?
I thought this was a family anime.
This can't be Spy Family."
I thought this was about children. I thought this was rated PG. What happened to this show?
You just check the thing. It slept on that 13 real fast. PG-13. But those are my favorite scenes. Did you have anything for 11?
I did not have anything for 11.
Okay.
No, I did not.
Well, we can go to rating. So for Dodgeball, solid 8 in my opinion.
Thick ass 8. I agree.
Solid 8. Very funny, very entertaining. And it even like I didn't even for a second I thought there are moments where Spy Family does stuff and I'm like, oh, this is the end of the episode, and when in fact it's like the middle of it or something like that. And I did not notice that the dodgeball thing took up the entire episode. It was a fun time.
Well, question: what's keeping it from being a 9 in your opinion?
What's keeping it from being a 9 in my opinion? I don't know. The show and maybe this is unfair to it. Technically, if I take this out, I guess it could be a 9. But I guess for me, it was. Spy Family really shines to me. I guess when the whole family is involved, like the for instance the day they took Anya to get accepted to the school, we got to see all aspects of Spy Family. Correct. To the point where I was like, this is either 9 or 10. I don't know if I'd say this episode is 100% a 9. I could argue up to a 9. I'll say that. It's a very solid 8, and I could see someone saying this is a 9. Personally, for me, though, I don't know. Maybe it's just not giving enough for me to say it's a 9, if that makes sense.
Okay, because I was just about to say, I don't know. Like this, in my opinion, I think this was probably the best episode since the episode you just mentioned, episode 4, where they went to the school interview. I think this is,
and I wouldn't, and I don't think
one below that episode. And so I thought to myself, I think we gave that episode a 10. I was thinking, what's realistically stopping me from giving this episode a 9?
I mean, if you feel like it's 9, I fully would not disagree with you. For me, it's a very strong 8 or a.
I mean, I think I got to give it a 9. They nailed all the shonen tropes this episode, in my opinion,
and they did a good job also making fun of them, and also just it's a very enjoyable episode. So I can definitely see a 9. I don't know if I feel comfortable changing my thing because I do still.
You don't have to. I'm gonna slap a 9 on this bad boy.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I generally think it's the second best episode since the interview.
No, I stand by that. No, I fully agree with you. Moving forward with episode 11, I gave this one. I'm in between the 7 and 8 a little bit on this one, because it was very entertaining to watch and it set up stuff for the future that I am excited for. So this is a very strong 7, in my opinion.
I agree as well. A strong 7. I can't give this one an 8. Not like the most exciting thing, and not necessarily exciting, I guess most suspenseful thing we had this episode was Anya trying to save the boy. And it was nice that Anya was able to get her still this episode. Yeah. So that was nice. But
which was a momentous occasion, but I do think, I don't know. There are definitely better episodes than this one, as correct. We just kind of went through. So
one thing
this is really good though.
One thing I did enjoy from this episode though, because I forgot to mention in my favorite scenes actually for this episode. I'm an idiot, but Anya, after she got her Stella, which is one of the major milestones for this show. After she got her Stella and she got all big headed and everything, she wanted everybody to start calling her, at least her friends, Starlight Anya. That shit was
I forgot. I
hilarious.
did forget about. You know what? I forgot about that. That was a good
That and we
moment.
got another smug face Anya this episode as well. That shit was
I think
hilarious as
she.
well.
I think she also did it in the dodgeball episode
I can't
because
remember
she
if she did
started.
it or
I think
not.
when she was dodging Terminator Child's throws, Damien had Damien was. Well, I think he had like acknowledged her skill, and she just was like the.
But yeah, I love smug face Anya. That shit is
It's
hilarious.
great. It's great. So that's if I'm not mistaken, that's everything for Spy Family.
That is everything for Spy Family. You are correct,
So
sir.
we'll move on to Shield Hero.
That we
Uh,
will.
and for that, the title of episode 10 is Katana Hero, and episode 11 is Kizuna. And may I just start off by saying I did not expect anything that happened in episode 10 after a certain point. Well, like, I shouldn't say that. Before watching this episode, if you had told me what happened in this episode, I probably would have slapped you because I'd be like, no, that's stupid. And then after I was like, they set this up real hard.
Okay, because are we thinking, are we on the same page here? Because okay, so we gonna, before we get off track, we're gonna hop in straight to the major plot points for episode 10 of Shield Hero right here. So we're gonna skip it to the middle because I think we talk about the same thing right now. Are you talking about when Raptalia actually got the weapon?
Yes. When they showed, okay, so when they
Okay,
showed it,
okay.
I knew.
I'm glad. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one though. Yes, I am happy for her, but I thought her how she got the katana was also dumb as hell as well.
When they showed it, I was like, "That's gonna be Ratalia's weapon," because there's no they keep fucking showing the camera pointing to the sword and then back at her, all the way up until the point where Kazuki, thank you, Kazuki grabbed it and it teleports in her hand, and I was like, that was so obvious. But if you had told me last week. Well, not last week. Before I watched this, that Raptalia gets a vassal weapon in a different world, I'd been like, "You were what? That is the wildest shit you could have said."
I agree. Like I was thinking it was a little weird as well too, and then I was also thinking about like the ramifications of a person from another world being the vassal hero. Like how would that
Now
affect
they
their world with it when the katana weapon goes to the other world? Like, was there any major ramifications
will
that
it?
that may have?
Yeah, that was the one thing I was like. The most interesting thing from that though is can she bring it back to the
I
other
mean, I'm
world,
assuming she
or
can
will
bring
she?
it back because they can take their weapons to the other world. But my thing is,
That oh, you know
what's?
what? That's true. They are. Yeah.
But I was wondering what type of effect will it have on the world with it being permanently in the other world. That's what I was worried about. Like, because she's
That
completely gonna take
yeah,
it over there.
she's not gonna leave it there. That is a good question. I don't know. What's interesting though when they about this episode specifically, besides like Raptalia teaming up with Lark and Glass and
Hmm.
them, um, is that we found out that vassal heroes are it's basically I think I said this a while back that I thought the heroes might be tied to the power of a
The
country like the
military,
military,
yeah,
and that was confirmed this episode because they were like
that was confirmed. That was one of our
uh,
theories.
Lark and Glass were like, oh no, that means there's going to be like
A power shift.
a power shift after this
Yeah.
hero is selected, and they were technically wrong because she Raptalia is allied to no nation,
You are correct.
but hey, it was good to
Unfortunately for
it
them.
was good to see it was good to get like confirmation, I guess, on the how vassal heroes work in this world.
Okay, yeah.
Um, and then we got Raptalia being a badass for a little bit as well
Yes, but
at the
before
end of this.
we get to her being a badass, I had a little bit before that. Also,
Okay, go ahead.
at the point where she first got her, right before she got the katana weapon, it actually meant it might have been before or after. I can't remember very clearly, but Kazuki, the mage prodigy,
Mm-hmm.
he was saying that he was going to use the katana weapon to get an up one on Kyo.
Oh, that was after. That was he said he told that to Raptalia during the fight.
Okay, so that was after. So from episode 11, we know some stuff happened in episode 11. We'll get to it. But do we think that he was on to Kyo at that point? Or do you think he probably just didn't
Oh,
really necessarily
about
like him?
about the thing that happened in it. Like, do I think he
Yeah.
knew about the thing that was going to happen in the episode? I don't think he knew about it. I just don't think he liked serving under him.
Okay.
I think that was more of it because it didn't seem like that was out of concern. It just looked like that was I'm mad, and I
I mean,
don't and
yeah,
I
we knew,
don't
well,
like
we knew he
this
was
person.
mad and like he wanted to
But
stop
I'm saying
him
like, I feel like
defeat him.
I felt like if it was about the thing that happens in episode 11, it would have the pleading would have been more so related to that. Like, look, you really fucking up my plans here. You really don't know what the fuck is about to happen. Like, if he said shit like that, yeah, I would have got. But it was more of like, God, like, woman, give me the sword so I can kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, okay.
It was more like I don't like him. I'm tired of him thinking I'm under him. Give me my shit.
Give my shit. Okay. All right. And then moving up from there, speaking of, give me my sword back, woman. Raptalia gets to fight with the old boy. Of course, she whoop his ass real quick because we just got our power up. We're not gonna lose.
Can we talk about that though for 1 second?
Sure.
I don't look. I have mixed feelings about Mary Sue's. Raptalia got that sword 5 seconds ago. Grew up because of the sword, I'm assuming, and then instantly knew how to use every ability that it gave it.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Who's to say that those are the sword abilities and not her abilities?
You telling me Raptalia was using snow? I forgot what the move was, but she was using Snowfall Midnight to beat niggas' asses in another world?
She was not.
No.
She was not. I'm just saying. Oh man!
Like, and we had to see now. Fumi sit here and struggle with his shield skills, and Raptalia is like, "I was born this way.
I was born for this." And listen, Raptalia just said, "I'm him," or "I'm her," rather. And
also, technically it's a favorite scene, but I gotta talk about it. I really do. The fact that they actually let Raptalia kill this man.
Oh, that was next episode, but I feel you.
Was that next episode? I thought that was the end. I thought that was the end of. Okay, my bad, y'all.
But no, I was definitely going. That was going to be the first thing I touched upon. But no, but but it's okay. We could touch upon it now.
Okay,
we can touch upon it now, though.
All right, sorry. I'm sorry, y'all, that I brought this up sooner. When I tell y'all though that I screamed, like I legit was like. When he stepped and he just like I was like, what the? I was like, yo,
I was the same way.
I did not,
bro. Hold on, let me
prepared.
tell you. Let me tell you, because to be honest with you, I didn't know if Raptalia was bluffing her ass off or not, and she wasn't.
I didn't think she was lying, but the fact that I thought somebody was going to dispel the effect. I was like, this ain't no way they're about to let the cute cat. I mean, she's killed stuff before, but it's usually been monsters. Very rarely, from my knowledge, has Raptalia straight up murdered a person on screen.
To be fair, she gave this man like 2 or 3 warnings.
No. I'm not saying that she committed a crime. When I say murder, she killed. Murder is murder, regardless if it's done in good but justifiably or not. It was just the fact that happened. I was like, Yo, all right.
Yeah, I was shocked as fuck too, though. I was like, because like I said, I couldn't tell if Raptalia was bluffing or not. Like I said, that man took that step and he just split in half, and I was like, well, she told your ass not to move, my guy. I don't know what else you want.
Legitimately, for a second, I thought this was a different anime. I swear to
you. She told his ass not to move.
In that moment, I was like, this is not Shield Hero. There's no fucking way.
She told his ass not to move, but
he took that one step in there.
One of my last questions, probably my last question here I have for episode 10, though, was how did you feel about the pacing for this episode? Because it was kind of fast.
It was no. I fully agree. This shit was going a mile a minute.
We went from the jail to getting the weapon to fighting some beasts to Nafumi showing up out of nowhere. Even though I knew Nafumi was in the same place
because they showed
because of the last episode,
and also there was a hint because they showed at the when Raptalia got to the shrine, you can see Philo's. You can see the bird
circling through the air. Yeah, I thought that was her. Yeah.
This happened. It happened. I thought the prison break was going to take at least like a majority of the episode. I shit you not, and they were legitimately 6 seconds, maybe a minute after Raptalia gets there. Glass, you can create. I can create illusions. Or she was like, we can do something. And then the guard fully opens the door and is like, "What the fuck? How did y'all do that?" And she takes the thing and they just bust out. And I'm like, I thought Glass was dying. What? How did? All right, I guess I don't know.
Because I think another point on that, because if not mistaken, the way they talked about those little talismans that the guard was wearing is almost like
It
they
boosts
talked
your
about it as
power.
it was way that it increased their power and not like that it gave them effect to have a any that draining effect on the cage that they was in, the cell they was in. It wasn't like that they didn't specify if they was actually putting on that draining effect on the cell or not, or if it was part of the talisman and whatnot. I thought that was kind of weird as well.
It just happened so fast. It was
Because
legitimately
I'm
like,
with you
oh,
because why did we need to grab this talisman first before we could blow a hole in this wall?
oh. Well, my thing is, you draw the attention that she is dying, and yes, this boosts your power, but that's a human man, and we found out last time that she is a different race altogether. So I'm just like, how do you go from dying, even with a talisman that boosts power? How are we saying? How does that equate to saving your life and then giving you enough, also while giving you the strength to bust a hole in the wall? I just felt like that was that like it just. I was like, this talisman has to be OP, and you should keep it if that is the case. If it can stop you from
I feel you.
dying
I feel you.
and then let you do that.
I listen. I don't.
I was just saying, look, this episode was going a mile a minute. Did I enjoy it?
Yes,
Yeah, but it was going fast as hell.
it was. I thought I just wanted to ask you that question because I was like, we moving kind of fast in this
Ex-
episode.
expeditiously.
I was like, I know we might be only got 12 episodes, but golly, they kicking it to the middle right now.
Yeah.
Pedal to the middle, foot on the
Move,
gas.
moving on up.
But yes, moving on up now to episode 11 of Shield Hero, where we would have started off with old boy getting split up. But however,
I'm so sorry.
that's
I'm so sorry.
okay.
That's my fault. I legit was the move. She did the move in episode 10. This was the start of the move. The
See,
aftermath, I forgot, happened in
at the
episode 11.
beginning, yeah,
I
the
just
aftermath happened at the
blend.
beginning of
I
11.
just blended that together because it was
And I
again. It
mean,
was like right.
11. And to be fair, 11 went fast too as well, though.
I really enjoyed 11. We got so much
I feel you.
information
We did
in this episode.
and starting off with some of the information that we learned today. So we were right. Old girl Kizuna is a cardinal hero, so that's dope to know. But
And we found out the reason she was summoned.
yes, I was just about to say I got a question about that because so we found that the reason that she was summoned was to kill this monster called the Emperor Dragon, the King of Monsters. Now, also some information we got from this episode is that she actually already killed this monster. So she did the thing she was summoned here to do. So my question is, if she completed the mission that she was summoned here for, why is she still in this world?
So you never got a confirmation about if when Naofumi and them are done, do they go back? Because they never said like.
But that was one of the things they did bargain for, and they did like talk about in season 1, though.
But we never got. All I'm saying is we never got confirmation of that true not because, even the Filolio Queen with her shield hero, she doesn't mention if he just left or if he died.
That's a good question because we do know that the old shield hero was kind of on the older side. We don't know how old.
Yeah,
because
when we see
on the older side.
Yeah, when we see in the flashbacks, he seems to be like he's maybe at most his late 30s, at youngest his late 30s, earliest early 40s maybe. But like, so we don't know 100% if after they complete their mission, do they fully go back? And then two, about the dragon thing, I just want to know if there are more cardinal heroes in this world. Did she do that by her damn self? Because that's insane.
That's a good question. I would assume that she did not take that thing down by herself. Who knows? We do know she can fight monsters, even though she can't fight humans. So she might be OP. We just don't know it, and she might did take that thing down by herself. But I'm assuming that there, just like the other word, there are more cardinal heroes. They did not verify if Lark, Glass, and Teresa were cardinal heroes or not. We know they have vessel weapons.
Well, yeah, so I'm assuming they're vessel.
They do, vessel. But they didn't confirm it. But it's still, in my opinion, until they show us another cardinal hero, it's not off the table yet.
True. Yeah, no, but that was like what mid episode we got that. So since I did the beginning, I'm trying to recollect. Oh, so we also found out that Lark is a king.
Yes.
And that Kizuna did not know, just like I thought she did. She knew not that the people that they were invading Naofumi's world to
because she did
save
not
the
know
world.
about the waves.
Waves. Yeah, again, I
Because she was in
said,
the Infinite Labyrinth. So who was right?
and I,
So who was
huh?
right?
I don't think
Huh?
it
No,
wasn't
no,
because
no,
of
no,
it.
no, 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 no,
They
no, no,
didn't
no, no, no,
say,
no,
they
no,
did not
no,
say it was because of the Infinite
no,
Labyrinth.
no, no,
They
no, no.
said
But
she just
we
didn't
know
know.
no. Check number one, she didn't know about the waves. Check two, she didn't know about them going over with the waves to fight Nafumi and them. Why did she not know all of this information? Because she was stuck in the motherfucking
She
labyrinth.
was
I don't
out.
see how
She
you
was
don't
She
understand
was.
this
Hold on, wait, no, no,
already.
no. I'm saying, listen to me, listen, Linda, listen.
Mm-mm.
You're getting too much dip on your chip, in
No,
my
you
opinion.
get too much. All the
Because
sounds are there.
no, I have less dip on the chip. Because all I'm saying is, I it Glass and them knew her before she got trapped in the Infinite Labyrinth.
Of
It
course.
could be, and they were all vassal heroes before she got trapped in the Infinite Labyrinth. It can be discerned by these things and the fact that they seem to have known about this mission for a
No,
while,
no, no,
that
no,
they were doing
no,
this
no.
shit
Pause.
before the
Because
Infinite Labyrinth.
you also want to know. Also want another thing. They didn't even know Kizuna ass was stuck in an infinite labyrinth. That's how I know she don't know all of this because
I
she was stuck in the infinite labyrinth.
1 second. I retract everything I just said. You're right. You're most likely correct because I forgot about that.
They didn't
They
even
didn't
know she
know
was
she
stuck
was
there.
there. Wait, but that does beg the question though. Where did they go in between their waves?
We don't know.
Did they were
All we
they
remember
trapped?
is here's the facts we know. She was summoned here to fight the monster. She did that. Some time may have passed, whatnot, and she got captured by the Emmy Nation. When? How long ago did she get captured by
We
the
don't
Emmy
know.
Nation? What for did she get captured by the Emmy Nation?
But
How the hell did they even
I,
capture her? We know they threw
I,
her in the infinite prison, but I think they had to actually capture her before they could throw her in there. So
yeah,
how did they even get her?
yeah. But I guess my only question is, Glass, Lark, and them. Where do they go after the waves are over? Do they not return to their world? Because I thought was the case, but you pointing out that they didn't know she was in the Infinite Labyrinth
That's a good
is
that's
the
another good
most
question.
is
I
super
don't know
interesting.
because she mentioned that she was like, "Oh, I should have went up and checked on you." Slash, like I should have went and checked there or something like that. She said something along those lines. So I'm not. That is a good question. I'm not sure where the hell they go when the waves
Or over.
are over, or like, or who's to say that? I guess a possibility could be that maybe they were on their own missions. Because if it is true that the heroes are summoned here for military might and stuff like that, that she could have been like in the war fighting or something.
Well, if there was a war, we don't know
If
if
there
there was a
was a
war
war,
before
yeah,
they
or not
before
necessarily a
they
war. She
left
could have
this
been
world.
like battle or something because we know that
But
they
we,
are fighting each other and stuff like that to the
yeah.
point where
Well, I
they're
guess,
kidnapping each other.
and what was I gonna say? Another thing or a good thing I guess we found out as well is that they are Lark and Glass and them are really only evading Naofumi's world to try and save their own.
Correct.
Because it seems like the waves are connected,
In
are
some
cross
way,
connected in some way.
yeah.
Because we get the resolve of Kizuna and Naofumi to try and figure out a way to stop the waves that doesn't involve them killing each other.
Each other. All right. Yep.
So
And
yeah,
so
a lot.
a lot is going on.
The only other thing I think that is noteworthy, well, technically there's two things, is we met a not a hero, but just someone who's known Kyo for the longest time. This girl named Yomogi Emerald, and she is, in my opinion, very stupid because she tries to fight 7 people. Hold on, wait, Kizuna,
Something like that.
Naofumi, Lark, Glass, Philo, Reptalia. 6 people. 6 people. Oh, Teresa. 7. I was correct. And Teresa. 7. 7 people all at once. Oh no, 8. Because green hair
Eight.
girl.
Eight.
8 people at once. Granted, they started approaching her one by one, but eventually she did get like,
No, nine. Nine.
who was the ninth person? Did I miscount
It's
somebody?
the trio, Lark, Glass, and Teresa, plus the
So,
Hunter Hero. That's four. That's everybody from their world. All the people from our world. Nafumi's five. Ratalia six. Philo seven. Um, green hair girl. What
mm-hmm.
her name is eight.
That's 8.
It was one more person I had in my head. Who am I missing, Alex? Who are you missing? Who are you
I
missing?
mean, the Bolt Vassal Hero was there,
No,
I
no, 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 no,
think, but he
no.
couldn't fight.
No, 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 no. Philo, Nafumi, Ratalia. Okay, maybe I do got eight. Okay, well, I'm dumb. I can't count. Apparently, eight people.
But
Regardless,
regardless,
she's still stupid.
she runs. She tries to run the fight on 8 people, uh, in the middle of the city, and and loses. And then also she trusted Kyo with all her heart. But granted, that was because she grew up with him and she thought he was a good person. But her sword was set to self destruct. So hey, I mean,
That's kind of
how
hey, that's kind of fucked up.
that kind of it's extremely fucked up.
It's kind of fucked up.
You sent me out there with a suicide sword.
You know this girl since your childhood days, and apparently y'all was friends at one point. You don't went so far left field that you willing to kill this girl now.
My God, it's that bad.
Crazy.
Yeah, but luckily after the fight and everything, we get Kizuna and her buddy, and we find out that Kyo apparently, or to her belief, Kyo was trying to use the spirit beast's energy to stop the waves.
But that was not the fact.
It's not the fact at all. It was the exact opposite. In fact, he was trying to create the. I forget they had a
create the
name for it.
waves. He was trying to create the waves.
But the wave that he created was a stronger or a more potent version of whatever the regular waves are, because they had it had a name.
But I think that was just the regular name of the waves, though. I could be wrong, but I think that was just a regular name.
I thought it was some extra shit. Regardless, Kyo,
there is a possibility it could be some extra shit. I could just be wrong here.
If we are, we are. If we're not, we're not. Hey, I'm sorry, we're not fact checking in the middle of the episode.
We are not.
But we now know. I mean, he kind of already was, but he's definitely now public enemy number one. I mean, not even public enemy, like world enemy.
But so he was already public enemy number one. Yeah,
now he's fucking dimension enemy number one. Call Doctor Strange because this nigga has lost his mind.
He has lost his mind.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this all unfolds, because to me, I don't know about you, but to me these 2 episodes in terms of stuff like for this season were really good. And if they keep up with this, I mean, besides the pacing for them, they need to figure that out. But other than that, I enjoyed both things that happened in either episodes, even though I'll say episode 10 you was fine by the seat of your goddamn pants.
I want to know what happened to Kyo that made him have such a hatred for the world to the point where he just says, "Fuck it, I want." Not only do I want to destroy this world, I want to destroy this other world too. Like, what happened to this man?
That's a good question. I am interested. I wonder what. I mean, we know he was a bookie kid that mostly kept to himself, according to Yomogi. So I'm interested to see what they did to make him this mad, because I don't. You gotta, every time any plot revolves around the end of the world, I'm always like, why? Why the end of the world specifically? Like, why do you want to die?
Why do you want to do this? What is your reasoning behind this? But one last question that I did have for this: Kyo is a fucking magician, because apparently he can bring people back from the dead. Because right now he has Kazuna in the goddamn, not the hyperbolic time chamber, but one of those little capsules, healing himself. Do you think he's going to come back as himself, or do you think he's going to come back something completely different?
Something completely different. The way he looked in that tube was fucked up. That man is coming back as a monster. Like, we don't even have to have this conversation.
Okay, well, here we go. Man, I'm glad we're on the same page then. I'm glad we're on the same page.
So that man coming back as a monster. The way he looked was like he mixed some DNA in him before.
My boy was like, he was just like, yeah, I can save him. Mm-hmm. No problem. I can do that.
Nah, you getting your friend back the same way you dropped him off. Yep,
got you. But if you don't, do you have any other plot points that you wanted to bring up for these 2 episodes?
Everything I talked about everything. I really wanted to.
Well, all right. Well, we'll hop into some dislikes for these episodes for these 2 episodes, and then we talked about this a little bit already. But the pacing, though, from episode 10 was just fast as hell, and I think that's due to the fact that this is only a 12 episode season, and they would just got to know we got to get there, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
the
um,
pacing was way too fast in this
I
episode,
definitely
in my
agree.
opinion.
And the only other thing that the pet peeve or dislike that I have is that Raptalia just instantly knew how to do all that shit, and they did not explain that at all. At all. And while it was cool, I just was like, she could. All right, I guess. I mean, I understand she knows how to use a sword, but to just, I can now do Getsuga like moves without any explanation. All right, I guess. Cool.
I wasn't even like thinking about that at first, but the only reason I'm gonna give that to you is just because for the fact that you brought up how Nafume actually had to train with his shield,
He had to
his
read.
weapon and
He
everything.
had to read and analyze it, like when he got it. So I was like, "What the fuck?"
I feel you, but to be fair, it did sap all the energy out of her though.
It did. It did. That was the one saving grace that they gave me. So I'll back off a bit.
Oh man, but no, that was Is there any more dislikes that you had?
Mm-mm. Got it.
All right, well then we'll hop into some favorite scenes, and one of my favorite scenes is definitely old boy just dying because that shit was just I don't know, that shit was funny to me.
No, it was hilarious. Was not expecting it, and that's also another reason why it's also my favorite scene because I know they've killed humans before in Shield Hero, but the way that one happened, that took me out for a second because I was like, this is not normally how this shit is handled in this anime. Am I watching the right thing?
It was just it was at the very beginning of the episode. We warned you from the last
It was
episode
so
when he did
casual.
just get him out of there, and
It
I was
was
just like,
so
oh, I was
fucking
like, wow,
casual that I could
okay.
not believe it.
It was very casual.
It was just so casual. It was like mid conversation cut in half, and I was like, I did not think they were gonna show us that. What the fuck?
Oh man.
Yeah, no, that's one of mine. Obviously, the fighting scene is the town was another one for me. From start, well, not from start to finish. It was just that was chaotic as hell, and also I just loved the blacksmith of their world being like, "Can y'all just take this somewhere, like in the middle,
In the
in
middle
front
of
of my
town,
shop?
really.
Really,
I feel
really?"
you.
Like,
She
like
got
that
to
was
listen. She got to make a living, and
well,
she can't do that if
exactly.
y'all destroy
And
all her shit.
she already and Kazuna already coming in here and being like, "Please for free in a
Not for
day."
free. Well, it wasn't free. She built them. She built them. She built
But I'm
them.
just saying, she was just like she was like, all right. That'll take a week. How we need him tonight?
Excuse me. Yeah, we need them tonight. I would.
Uh,
Do I like you enough like this
no,
to do
exactly.
this to stay up all night and do this?
Do I enjoy
I
your
haven't seen
company?
you in months, but yet you come in here and ask me to stay up all night for you. Fuck it, why not?
Ain't gonna ask me how my kids are? No, okay. uh, yeah. So that was just a good time. But those are my favorite scenes. I don't know if you had any more.
Yes. Raftalia fighting the copies of the
Oh, the
Guardian Beast from their
Byakuo.
world. Yeah, the Byako. That was nice. Even though you shitted on her being able to use the weapon, I still
That
think her using the
it
abilities was
came
cool.
out of nowhere.
I
It
feel
was
you.
cool.
I mean, I
My
feel you. You know,
the
I'm
5
not I don't disagree with you in this instance. I do not, but
this
I still think it was cool.
the 6-year-old Macmillan who watched Saturday morning cartoons was very impressed. But also the me who got older and was like, skills don't come out of nowhere was like, bitch, you gonna explain this shit? No, okay.
Yeah.
No, that was good. That was a good moment.
And then my very last one is major plot twist we got right at the end. Kyo activating the waves. That was a good one because you just see Kizuna look at the clock. She was like, "Wait a minute, the timer shows zero." Then just boom, the sky lit up, all the portals and stuff open. I'm
mhm.
like, "Oh shit, it's about to go down."
Yeah, no,
Hopefully,
that was
I have actually no. I'll say this to the Raiders. I'll say this to the Raiders.
okay.
Um, but yes, that was my last favorite scene. The waves being activated in the world because I'm also wondering did it also activate the waves in the other world as well? I mean, he called them dimension waves, so I'm assuming that they are activating the other world as well, but we just don't know that just yet.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
yes,
no, yeah, that was good. That was definitely really good. I thought that was enjoyable as well.
that was all that I had. Do you have any other favorite scenes, sir?
No, I think that is everything for me. So we can get into ratings. You want to start us
All
off?
right. Yeah, so we'll start us off with episode 10. And I don't know, I'm conflicted because as you mentioned earlier, yes, I did enjoy this episode, but however, the speed, the pace at which we went by with this episode is just wild to
Just
me.
it,
And
yeah,
like
just
I
very
want to give it an
fast.
8, but I think because just how fast the pacing was, I got to give it like a 7. Like we didn't have time to sit and marinate and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and also especially for the point that I listen. I know this is a show, and sometimes in anime stuff just happening, but I still think that the katana just appearing in Breath Child's hand was lazy as hell.
It didn't set that up like at all, like at all. So yeah, I have mixed feelings about it as well. It's just crazy.
But I can't give it a 6. I did enjoy this episode a lot, and but I can't give it an 8 because just the pacing, a lot of weird stuff happened this episode, but it was still good though. So solid 7 from me.
Yeah, I was thinking high six or seven for this one. All the reasons you said, plus my own like little personal gripe, but I could definitely see anybody giving this a seven for a reason. Um, for the episode 11, I personally thought that this was like one of the better episodes for me personally. Just all the stuff they packed into it. We got to learn more about
So
Kizuna and stuff like that in the world.
so did you like episode 10 or 11 better?
11. I think I liked 11 more, even though it had similar problems. I think I liked 11 more. Uh, the the Kazuki thing really helps this episode. I'll say um, that that it's hard to that is hard to get past. Is all I'll say.
I
So
agree. I agree with you on that, but I don't
so
know.
there's that one,
I'm having me personally. I'm having a hard time
and for me, I
distinguishing which one
like.
I like better.
Oh, I really like world building. So for me, I gave this one like a high seven, potentially an eight.
We did get a
Because
lot of world building this episode.
we got a lot of world building, and that's super. And at least to me, it's important, especially when the most interesting thing is them being in this new world. So
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I might have to like this episode better just for the simple fact that I was right. Sometimes Ace is right. Sometimes he's wrong. But I be on point with these theory shit. Even though maybe be trying to go against me sometimes,
I
but he gonna learn one of these days.
I don't know. Part of me, well, I do agree that you made a very solid point, and that I'm most likely wrong. As part of me is still like, maybe they were doing it while she wasn't out of it. I don't know because they didn't show us that time. But
Oh,
you
good.
you gave evidence that I cannot refute, so I'm wrong for now.
I just needed more time. The further the episodes went along, the more and more facts was just building up for my case. So we here.
The allegations they were presented.
I went ahead and put the nail in the coffin this episode.
Indeed.
But we're good. So yeah, I think for my rating, I gotta give 11 out of 7. Honestly.
Okay.
Um,
Like I said, that's no issue to me. Like I said,
maybe an 8, but
7.5
I'm gonna
or
stick
8.
with a 7. I can,
Okay.
but I can definitely see somebody talking me up to an 8 though.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. With that all said, I believe that is everything.
That is everything, and now we are about to move to our final anime of the day, everybody. And last but not least, it is my favorite of this season, personally, Tomodachi Game. And once again, we're going to be going through both episode 10 and 11. So, McMillan, you want to go ahead and give us these titles
10,
real quick?
10 is the most tame name Tomodachi has ever had for an episode. Third game is over. Legitimately, that's all it is. And then 11, we go back to the crazy shit, and it's do you really have nothing you care about? Question mark.
Correct.
10. What do I have to say about episode 10? I like 10. 10 was 10 was good.
10 was good. We finally got the reveal of the true leader of Group K, or BTS as you like to call him, and it was the red hair guy.
Whose name is K.
Yes, he was my second choice, though I was incorrect because I thought it was the big guy. But he would have been my second choice, though.
Yeah. My second choice was apparently the glue for the group, but we'll get to that later. So yeah, we find out that K is actually the leader, and the way that happens is Yuichi's plan kind of fell apart. He was able to get someone to switch over, like he said, and slowly start destroying the friendship. But the thing is, they were Kay was hoping on that anyway because he knew that the guy that they got to switch,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Hyaktaro, sorry, was a hothead. So they were like, "Oh, the only thing we got to wait for is egg him on, so he hits one of us." Damn,
And we win.
you you fucked up.
But speaking on that point as well, well, I got to go ahead and give you your props. You was correct. Last episode, we theorized, or you theorized rather, that the reason why he switched sides was because he wanted to protect Maria from Yuichi, and that was exactly the
Exactly
case.
the case.
That was exactly the case.
Yep, that she was supposed to be a honeypot, and she honeypotted all over that boy. That sounds wrong, but I'm sticking with it. And, and she was able to get them over. But the thing is, like I said, that was a part of their plan. So that Yuichi and Maria had to babysit him, and that led to um, yeah, what I want to say. That led to Kay telling Maria, basically figuring out Maria's whole deal that she was actually apparently a part of the administration and convinced her that betraying Yuichi now would be in her character. Um, and we get this really good scene of Yuichi breaking down after he basically ended up betraying what we thought was like giving up, getting double crossed, and he just screams out no, and his I was like, this can't be this can't be it. This
I'm,
can't.
yes, I was thinking the exact same thing because I was like, Yuichi has been too smart this series, even though he's going up against a true genius this
I was.
time. He has been too smart to
I,
fail like this. Like if he's gonna fail, I don't think it's gonna be like this.
also, he's never been shown to be that emotional. So when he
That
broke
part.
down, I was like, "There's something else here that's happened that I don't know about." And regardless, though, I mean, we find out later in the next episode that yes, that is true. But for this episode, after he gets betrayed, we have the funniest conversation between Kay, where Kay calls Tenji up and is like, "Your friend's like basically shit talking Yuichi the whole time." And Tenji eventually just snaps and starts yelling at him and cursing. And we get the scene of Kay popping up behind him and is like, "Gotcha, bitch." And it was just so funny because the smile he had on his face was like the biggest shit eating grin I have ever that I have ever had the pleasure of seeing. He was
He
just
thought
like,
he was, yeah,
I'm
he
that
had him.
guy. And immediately after that, we get the announcement that the game is over now. And I I don't know about you, but for me, the whole time, maybe just because of the Yuichi thing, I was just like, this can't be. They didn't
Of
win.
course.
This is
Of
obviously
course.
an
I,
okie
I
doke
was
situation.
wait especially listen, when they showed us the cliffhanger at the end of episode 10, he started announcing who the winner was. I was like, we won because there's no way they would have did this the way they did that scene if we didn't win. How they
Well,
showed Nabu-kun, he just
th-
started smiling.
I'm pretty sure at the end of 10 though they did announce that Group C won
No, they didn't.
because they didn't because
They
I was about to
didn't.
say I thought they
No.
showed
So what? No. What did
oh boy beating him up
No,
in 10. Well, I'm talking about like flashes of it before we went to episode 11.
I
It was
don't.
like it was like they announced he was going to announce it, and then they showed a flat they started playing the music, but before, like right before it
Well,
happened,
no, because that
they
was no,
showed
that was
him.
at that was at no, that was the beginning of episode 11. They showed
Well, no,
the cutscene with him beating Yuichi, and then they flash back.
well, no, I'm saying on in episode 10, he would they
No,
it
no, I
wasn't
get
like
what you're
him
saying.
punching him. It was just him like
No,
over him.
I get what you're saying, but I don't think, at least I don't recall that happening at all. I
Okay,
don't recall
I mean,
that flashback happening or flash
again,
forward rather happening.
again, this is the way we're recording this now is not great for our memory, but hey, I just remembered them showing a glimpse of it. But if I'm
Yeah,
wrong, I'm wrong. Regardless, in episode 10 was a cliffhanger that I think everybody probably knew how it was gonna go. But it was still nice how they set up that whole episode.
it
Episode 10 was
was.
really good. I
It was
was
it was
really
really
enjoyable.
good, and then now we get to the even more wild episode,
11.
episode 11. And then before I get too deep into it too, because I do have to ask you about this one. How do you feel about the pacing for this episode?
I wasn't even thinking about it until you said so.
because I don't know. I'm
Do you
trying
feel like
to
it was too
decide with
fast?
myself. Yeah, I'm trying to decide with myself if I think it was too fast or
I
not. I don't like maybe not too
I just
fast.
I
I
just
think because
think
uh huh
I just think personally, I don't think it was too fast, but they did throw a lot of information at us
we got a lot
nonstop,
of information
which
this
probably
episode.
which probably made it feel like the pacing was fast. But I feel like it was just more of like rapid fire, like info. But that's not. I don't think should be held against the
Correct.
show
And
because
that may have
the
been why I guess
circumstance.
it kind of had like a fast feeling to me. Like you said, they fed us a lot of information fast, but I don't think it necessarily
It
went by
was
fast because I think it was really two halves of this episode: us the resolution of the game, finishing the game, and then the resolution of the game.
the circumstances. I think for what happened this episode is why it may have felt fast. But it was like technically we were like Tenji and Yuichi. We were finding out everything
Hmm.
that we had missed while they were still in the game and while
Yeah,
they were Shiba and them were out. So that probably made it feel fast. But to me, I didn't feel like the pacing was fast. But I do feel like we got rapid fire info. But that's because we were, we're learning everything as they're learning it, and they've
yeah,
been gone for 5 days. Yeah, 5 days,
something like that. Probably about like a week almost.
maybe. Yeah.
Because I think because they
Oh yeah,
spent
no, because they were three. It
3
was three
days in the
days,
cave.
and then 2 days. Tenji
They
didn't get
did
anything.
3 days before he got to Tenji. He got to Tenji on the third day, and I think they did
So it
like
was
2 or
six. It
3
was
more
oh
days
yeah,
after
because it
that.
was almost a complete week, and
Yeah,
then
so
yeah,
almost about a week. Yeah,
yeah,
they've been gone.
yeah.
Um,
So yeah,
but
but
anyways,
basically, Yuichi's getting his ass beat at the beginning of this episode because
they won.
they won, and the way they won is that Yuichi is a demon, and he started beating the shit out of Yaktaro to get Juzuo, the guy we thought was the leader, to give up, and it worked. And Juzuo beat the shit out of him the moment the game was announced to be over.
Yuichi pulled out his plan B. Everybody,
That shit was
um,
wild.
we got to see a little bit of the darker side of Yuichi, but we also got to see some redemption in himself as well. And what I mean by that, so how he got old boy Juzo, I think that's what you say his name was, right, to basically
Mm-hmm.
give up is he started beating the shit out of Hyakuto. He called up Juzo, was like, "Hey, if you don't push this button, I'm just gonna beat his ass," and that's what he was doing. It got
And
to
he
the
did it
point
all
where he
the
was
way.
like, "All right, I ain't got that much time. I'm gonna count down to 3. Once I hit 3, if you don't hit this button, I'm gonna break his fingers.
I'm gonna break this nigga finger.
Count down to
And
3, 3 snap, finger broke." But we find out after that, after all that whole scene is resolved, we find out that Yuichi actually broke his
his
finger,
own finger.
and then but then also at the end of the game, he's walking away. He's talking about it. He was like, "I'm really glad that he
I
pushed that
didn't
button when he did because had he not, I was actually going to break Hyakuto's finger.
his
Like I didn't
finger.
have much time. The next one would have been him." What what do you think about that? Because yes, not Tenji, Yuichi. We know Yuichi has a darker side to him, but it's almost like he's kind of fighting that darker side of him because he broke his own finger instead of Hyakutoro's. But he still did mention though that like, hey, I was gonna pull it out if you didn't push that button when you did.
I I thought that was just I just thought that was cool. I didn't have any deeper uh insight on that other than the fact that like I mean we technically other than the fact it just kind of confirms that Yuichi before he went possibly got into the high school he's at now lived a very brutal life. Because I mean, we technically know he killed 2 people. We don't know if he actually 100% pulled the trigger or beat they or like stabbed him or whatever how
Whatever the
have
case
you.
may be.
Yeah, how it all happened. But the fact still remains is on his record is murder.
Hmm.
2 bodies.
Well, I think he
Two.
said 3,
Did it say
but
3? I thought it was
they
2.
just said 3 people.
Well, shit, 3.
Because
So I
y'all
just
made
thought
because then I made the statement that he's officially a serial killer because I think it takes you got to murder 3 people be to
really
count as
I
a
didn't
serial
know.
killer.
Why do
I
you know
think
that
that's the
number?
number. I think that's the
Why do
number
you
if not
why do
mistaken.
you know that number?
I,
Why would you?
I listen watching TV in a lot of Netflix shows on different things, you will learn stuff about murderers. A lot of
Okay,
don't act like America does not
it's
fetishes
true.
murderers in our
It's
TV
true.
shows over
You know
here.
what? I forgot you are engaged, and women love murder television. So never mind.
That they
You
do.
probably do know. Um, I'm sorry, women. It's true. You know it. But regardless, I just think it helped in solidify the fact that Yuichi used to be much darker than he is now. Like
Yeah,
whatever glimpses we're getting, these are still just peaks.
yeah, and
And
then another fact to him, I guess try to technically fight in that darker side of him. He mentioned that he was gonna break the friendship between Group K, but he didn't know he didn't end up doing that. Their friendship, they
I don't
actually
think
still kept their friendship.
I think basically how Tenji said it. I don't think that was 100% his goal. That was going to be 100% his goal, but he knew it was going to take he was going to have it take a hit though. I think that was
Hmm.
more of like what he was referring to, like the fact that he was using Maria to make them split up. He technically not broke it, but he did impact it in a way. I felt like that was more so what he was talking about. Like I don't think
Correct.
he ever fully, though, unless I mean he probably did think that, oh, if I take this too far, this is what's going to happen.
Hmm.
But I don't think he was fully ever truly aiming to 100% destroy it.
Okay.
I just think he knew that could have been an aftermath of what he did.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, we get the game three is over. Our boys win, and we preparing for game four. But plot twist, and this really surprised the fuck out of me. Before game four, they letting these motherfuckers go home for a while.
Well, no, but
Who would have thought?
remember I said that though. I compared it in the last episode. I compared this situation to a show slash manga called Battle Game in 5 Seconds or something like that. And halfway through the series, they get released from their shit, but it's the real in their real world. So I figured that I did not know it was gonna happen this fast, but I figured that might have been the case.
Correct.
And lo and behold, upon being released, they find out everything has went to shit, and Shibe and Shiho have disappeared again.
Again.
After getting bullied by the whole class because they said, "Where the fuck is my money?" like they should have, and uh, Shibe, in true idiotic fashion, after being told that he cannot talk about anything about the game, is like, "Guys, don't worry, I'm rich. I'll get the money," which I was like, I'm surprised no one punched him immediately after he said that.
Yes, but okay. So I'm glad. This was actually one of the points I did not write down, but it just came to me. So when you said, where's our money? You was like, they disappeared. So at the beginning of the series, right? When the money first disappeared, Shiho and Shibe were also disappeared when the money disappeared, and then they came back and was like, the money's gone. Same thing happened. They disappear again after the money's gone, and they come back all magically. But when they come
Well,
back this time, specifically them two again, they go and disappear.
well, Shibe disappearing this time, I think, is more of the fact of what they said in the episode where he basically
I was
told
gonna
his
get to
dad what
that.
happened.
I'm getting to it. So,
Oh, okay.
um, they both disappeared this time. Shiho still missing, but we found out that Shibe's dad is dead. We don't know what happened.
Well,
We
they
don't
said
know
they
if Shibe did it. Shibe looks totally fucked
and
up right now in the
and when they
head.
got there, they said that council they were talking about that government official. Apparently, he got murdered.
Yeah.
And the way it looks right now is that Shibe probably they're afraid that he's being framed or
Yes.
something like that happened because he has blood on his shirt
Shirt and
and they were
everything.
covering his hands when he came out. But also, like when he saw Yuichi and Tenji again, he had dropped the jacket or whatever was covering his shirt dropped, and you could see it's not because he's not fully showing his palm, but you can see outlines of red on his hands in the cuffs. So he has blood legitimately on him and on his hands. So something happened from him
Something
snitching.
happened. So I
Well,
was just
not snitching.
basically I brought that up to say, was Shibe always plotting? Not Shibe, was Shiho always plotting on Shibe this entire time? Or
Well, see, it's interesting because what I'm interested now is Shibe. I mean, not Shibe. Shiho apparently had some debt of her own because she was super when the debt turned to 10 point whatever the fuck. She was like, "Oh, so they know." Like that
Yeah.
was like the reaction. So I was like, what have you done that you have debt that increased their shit? I forgot what the original number was from, but like from whatever it was to 10 point whatever.
Yeah. 20
And that
million.
caused and that caused them to, and then that caused you to have to disappear. Because I don't. When we last talked about it, we were wondering if Shiho was working for the Tomodachi game or in
Mm-hmm.
some way, shape, or form. I don't think that. I'm pretty sure this episode kind of solidified that she doesn't work for them, but her family is definitely connected.
100%. I
Well,
was about to
now
say they connected some way.
I
The
was
way
like,
this
I'm
episode
just
is
saying,
going
like,
down.
I don't know how much she is involved. It does not, because she's missing right now, and I don't know if she's technically
But we
being
don't
protected
know
by
for what
her
reason.
dad. Yeah, I don't know if it's like her being protected by her father or some other stuff. But her dad is definitely, her family, her father specifically, is definitely tied
Yes,
after
and
this episode.
we'll get to the reason why later. But because I don't know, I guess the reason why I brought that up is because even though we know Tenji was the one who stole the money, even when the money disappeared, it was
Shiba
both
and them,
Shibo and Shiho who was the ones that disappeared.
yeah,
And my thing,
and
and we don't know the reason why those two specifically disappeared at the beginning of the series. But then
it
it was them two
could
that disappeared again
could she
later in the
have been
series.
plotting on him? I don't know. We don't know why they disappeared in the first place, so I'm
Correct.
reluctant to say that it was that. But also, it could be because she had her own debt of her own. That's the only reason I brought that up. Is because
And then because
the thing, something,
she Bay is rich, so she could have been like trying to use him somehow to get some money.
and we technically, I don't even know, because the Tenji thing now becomes even more interesting because it could have been like how I said, that could have been just an innocent high school niggas spending money on a girl, and they just were mismanaging it to the point where
Yeah,
they had to take out debt or something like that. So I I'm but now there seems to be more attached to like Shiho and the fact that she has some type of debt of her own, which could be resulted from anything that happened in her life. Like we know she had a big surgery. That could, maybe that's related to it or something like that. Like I
yeah, it
don't
could
know,
be.
but she is definitely now. There's a lot more intrigue, I feel like, around her now from this episode than it was last as well. Like
I
it's just
agree.
I feel like it made it thicker. So I don't think you're fully wrong. That's a very strong theory. I feel like, in my opinion, that
I
she could have been
agree.
trying to use Shibe to lessen her debt or pay it back in full, maybe, or some way, shape, or how.
And then, so basically, why do we say that Shio's dad is connected? Well, if you've seen the episode, you pretty much, if you're not blind,
It's
you know why.
Yuichi pulled up to this man for court press and said, "You ain't got shit on me, bitch. Try me," and walked off. And it resulted. Before that even happened, though, her dad made it pretty clear, without saying it exactly, that the reason this stuff was happening to Shiba is because he blabbed about the Tomodachi game, and that you guys should mind your business before the people that you care, before something that you care about gets hurt. And it's like I said, Yuichi a cold motherfucker
Yep.
because he
You what you
said,
said? I
"Try
ain't
me,
got nothing to fear. They
try
said
me,
bet.
bet."
We flash forward to Tenji and Yuichi sitting down, and I'm assuming Tenji's house. They
And
didn't specify
discussing their
where
next
they.
steps.
Yeah, discussing their next steps. Our boy
And
Tenji gets a call, and lo and behold, it's Manabu-kun saying we finna start a special round. What is this special round? These motherfuckers done
well, it
kidnapped
seems like yeah, they kidnapped
Kokorogi.
Kokorogi and Yuichi, and because it does not seem like Tenji is going to be in this game at all. It just
Yeah,
seems like it's going to be between
Yuichi and Kokorogi.
and Kokorogi and the establishment, because I don't know who the fuck is out here kidnapping little girls. But hey, uh, and it's basically, from what it sounds like, because I do not have the rules, unfortunately, but I'm not going to go too deep. But it sounds like a torture type of situation where whoever
That's exactly
squeals
what it sounds
first
like.
uh wins or loses. I'm not 100% sure,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's crazy because right before that happened, Yuichi tells off Kokorogi and basically calls her useless to try and make it so it's like, you need to stay away from us so that
Mm-hmm.
you don't get involved. She obviously didn't know that, but that was basically the reason he did it. And then the Tomodachi game people was like,
Okay.
okay, bet. Let's see. Let's test this theory.
Yo, you said you ain't got nothing to fear. All right, bet we got you.
We got you. Don't worry
Kidnaps your
about it, big
girl.
dog. Don't worry about it, big dog. Don't worry about it.
Say less.
And that is where we're left off. And when I tell you this episode got me hyped as hell, like
It got
10 was
me hyped
good.
as fuck. 10,
But
yes, 10
11,
was good, but 11, nigga,
oh,
11.
you can already probably tell, but I don't. We can move into phase 2 because that was. I'm pretty sure. Was that all you had to say about the plot
That's
points?
all I had to say.
Okay. Moving into dislikes. I didn't have any. I ain't had none.
Zero.
Row.
Episode 10 was good, and episode 11 was even better.
Yeah, man. Hit after hit. That's all I gotta say. Hit after hit. So I'll go into just my favorite scenes. For 10, Kay finding Tenji. Like I said, that was the most maniacal smile I done seen in a character in a while. So I was just like, that was a good scene, and also just how they goated him into giving up his I mean, they technically already knew where he was at, but the fact that they were like, let's make it clear, make him mad, get him to yell. That was really nice.
Let's let him know he fucked up.
Yeah. Play with him a little bit. That was funny.
That was a good scene. One of my favorite scenes, ironically, is also from episode 10, is when once again we flash forward to the monitor room, and we have the game masters talking to each other, and we have Blondie basically bragging about her genius and whatnot. She's like shoving old girl, our game master's like, I told you he was a genius, and just bragging about him, blah blah this and blah blah that. And our game master's just sitting there just looking at her, just straight face on her, like, yeah. All right, okay. Mm-hmm.
Whatever you say.
Yep. All right. Didn't even budge, didn't change his facial expression, just kept looking like, yep. All right, you'll see it in a few minutes here. I'm trying to tell you. I'm not even gonna tell you anymore. I already told you what was gonna happen. Let's just keep pushing. Yeah. Exactly. I love that scene.
Exactly. No, I feel you. That was a good one. My favorite scenes from 11, Yuichi basically calling up Juzo. My God. that whole thing, perfectly well done. I could not have asked for that to have been done better. And then lastly, Yuichi taunting Shio's dad. That got me hype as hell. That boy, when I was like, oh, this is the rest of this series about to be nice.
It's about to be some shit. Yeah,
it's about to be some.
You know what? I feel that just because for the fact that scene right there proved that Shiho's family is in cahoots with the Tomodachi game in one way or another, that just makes that scene even more powerful. But yes, it was a good scene though.
That was just. I could not have asked anything better because he was just like, and come at me, please.
Oh, my next favorite scene, this one is also from episode 10, when Kay was getting Maria to betray Yuichi, and she was just like, oh yes, that does sound like a good time, and you just see the smile on her face. I love that as well, because Maria, we knew she was already a crazy character just from her inner monologue and just her being in the monitor room and shit as well. So
that was good.
I love that scene. And then my last favorite scene, this one is from episode 11, is the ending scene actually of episode 11, when Tomodachi Game was like, basically said, hey Playboy, remember that shit you was talking? We got you.
We got you. We got you. We're gonna counter your bluff. See how it's going.
Yeah, we about to test that out, and it threw a major plot twist in there. I was not ready for this. I thought he was like, we finna start round 4 early. That's what I thought he was finna say, but he was like, no, we got a special round, motherfucker. Boom, got your bitch. What's good? What's good?
What's good? What's really good? Tomodachi Game.
Listen, I'm going to be upset if this is a 12 episode season, because I do not know how many episodes this is. I know Shield Hero is 12. I don't even want to look it up. Spy Family is 12. I don't even want to look it up either. I just want to ride this ride. But I'm telling you now, I'm going to be pissed if episode 12 is the last episode, because they're going to leave us off on a cliffhanger.
100%.
110%.
And I'll do my best not to read it, I swear.
Oh man, any more favorite scenes from you?
No, that's about it for me. Any from you?
No, sir. And then we can go ahead and hop on to these ratings for these two episodes. Episode 10. I had to at least give it an 8. That shit was good.
Look, before you even get into why, same. It's an 8 for me.
That shit was good. I mean, so many plot twists and turns. It ended with you thinking that Group K won, and Manobu Kun's just like the winner of Group K is yada yada this. You
Even
see
if you
Yuichi
saw,
overly expressing emotions like you mentioned that we never got to see before out of him. Really, and it's just like this ain't the Yuichi we know. What's going on?
yeah,
Maria betraying him. Kay somehow already knowing that Maria was a part of the Tomodachi game. Like crazy. Like episode 10 popped off.
indeed, indeed. Um, Yeah, the only thing I say is that even if you saw the plot twist coming, like of well, not plot twist, but of like Group C winning, they still played it up. I thought very well, and it was just a very enjoyable time. So definitely an 8 from me. So I'll start off with 11. For me, 11 is a high 9,
Nine, yes
if
sir.
not a 10, a
I
very
don't
high
know.
9.
I mean, I can talk myself up to a 10, but my original rating is a 9.
9.
Yes.
No, same. But I'm saying like if not a 10, I could see someone going for a 10 a little bit, but I feel like you'd be more arguing for the suspense that it's giving you and not necessarily the episode. But episode did amazingly well, setting up even more mysteries, giving us even more tension between basically the characters and the game, seeing like what it could go to. Like I could not have asked. I honestly couldn't have asked for anything more other than like them physically like them showing me exactly what happened maybe with Shibe and his dad, because then I could be like, oh, the Tomodachi game is the executives are dangerous. That's like the only thing they
See,
could have added. That
I
could have
mean,
added to this episode.
that's basically what was added to this episode. We know
But I'm
that
saying
they
like,
are dangerous.
but I'm saying like that could have made it a 10 is me seeing exactly what they did to Shibe and his father.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
As
Well,
for me, because that would have been a must watch
I don't know if
moment.
we wanted to see what happened to him.
Well, I'm not saying if we do or not. I'm kind of fucked up, so maybe just a little bit. But I'm just saying the only thing I felt like they could have like pushed it over the top might have been that, because that would have made it, because that would have set the tone for what
Yeah,
that could have.
but then I mean, but then at the same
to
time,
the other
it
characters.
doesn't give you that feeling of wondering what happened, and then just like
True, true.
really
Like I said,
knowing is this man dead and not and stuff like that. It leaves you wondering.
it leaves you wondering, and it does a really good job at that. Like I cannot dispute that in any way, shape, or form.
I agree. I love this episode. We just got plot twist after plot twist this episode. Both of them amazing, especially the very final one because they just they pulled that shit out of nowhere. This special round, I'm thinking we finna go to episode round 4. Nope, we got a special round for you. I'm even more surprised that we are even back in the real world and that we're not still at whatever facility that they was being playing the games at. Like that's wild to me as well. That just crazy.
Yeah, it's man.
Crazy.
Um,
Episode 12 should be an episode to see.
yeah, and hopefully it's not a cliffhanger. Well, hopefully it's not the end of this season, but
I hope it is not the end of this season.
if it is, I'm pretty sure they're pulling out a major thing, because it looks crazy from that little flash we got of what happens next
I am
episode.
going to be sad if this is the end of this season because I don't know what I'm going to do because next week is the end of Shield Hero and Spy Family for this season, for these seasons. So I'm going to be sad if it's the end of all three. I'm going to be really sad.
It happens. It happens. So
But times like this is what made me think that not made me think. It's made me glad that I started watching Tomodachi Game,
oh,
and
definitely.
I'm gonna sit here and preach the gospel once again. If you ain't watching this show, I don't know what you're doing. This show is good. Like I said, if you like Squid Game, you'll like this. If you like mystery shows, you'll like this. Like if you like dark shows, even though it's a little dark. It's not that dark, but it does have some dark aspects in it. But it's not like we're just going full, dark side here though. But like you like stuff like that, you will like this show.
hmm
I mean, Tomodachi Game just checks a lot of the boxes for me, and for me personally, this is my favorite show of the season. Me
Same.
personally,
Same.
but that was all I've had for the rating. Can't wait for episode 12. It's right around the corner. And is there anything else that you got to say, McMillian?
All right, that's about it. I'll just take us on out of here, I guess. So,
Yep.
like always, guys, appreciate you for watching. Please consider giving a like and a subscribe to the video, as well as following us on the audio only platforms. It really helps us out. As well as, in the comments for the YouTube stuff, please let us know your thoughts on any of these animes. We'd love to hear from you guys. As always, if you want to stay up to date on things about the council, be sure to check us out on our social media at Gurren Otakus on Twitter and at Gurren Otaku Council on Instagram and Facebook. With all that said, ladies and gentlemen, meeting adjourned. Please enjoy the rest of your week. Peace.
Yes.